here on Ball Street, we debate everything. We talk about everything, don't we, Ad?
Everything.
Don't we, Flav? Every aspect of the game. But there's one aspect of the game that leads to a lot of confusion. It's quite mysterious.
Yeah.
It's the value of a footballer. Now, CIES, Football Observatory, have come out and they have said who the most valuable Premier League players are. And you will be surprised, or some people might be surprised. Let us know in the comments who you think the most valuable player is. But Harry Kane has been named, as you see, with that big smile on Flav's face, 201.2 euros. He is considered...
Millions.
What did I say? Did I get it wrong?
200 euros.
201 million euros,
Sorry, of course.
apparently.
Mo Salah is in second place. Then you've got Dele Alli, 171 million. Kevin De Bruyne in fourth. And Romelu Lukaku, 163 million euros. Paul Pogba down in eighth, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this, and we'll talk about the criteria as well, because it's been done with some thought. This is a research group that has looked at different criteria. But going back for a second, when you look at the value of a player, what are your thoughts on it in the modern game? The value of a footballer.
What do you think, Flav?
I think I think often when talking about value, it's actually about copy. It's about what a newspaper can talk about or what we can talk about. It really doesn't mean anything. A value of a footballer is what someone's willing to pay, and that's it, ultimately. A value to a club and a value to a fan are two different things. I'm only interested in what this player can do on the pitch.
Yeah.
Clubs are interested in so much more. But, that's just, like you say, the modern game.
And I think the revenue streams play a big part in the value of a player now. Whereas before you had your gate receipts, you had your shirt sponsor, you might have had a bit of TV money, that was it. Now there are so many different ways to make money, and a lot of it is due to influence and marketability.
Yeah.
And so that's playing a massive part in the value of these players, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. The off-the-pitch side of it, like you're saying, how marketable they are, sort of, it's about shirt sales, etc., their sort of brand, suitability, all that sort of stuff. But I do think the main factor is the on-the-pitch quality, both to the clubs, both to the fans.
Yeah.
I think that is the main factor that goes into deciding a player's value. So that's why this list is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. So let's look at how many is it? 6 different criteria that they've chosen. So the age of a player, they're saying this is a massive. Anyone on the wrong side of 30, they're going to be struggling to bring in that big bucks.
Well, why Ronaldo near the top?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, despite obviously going for 100 million, but these numbers that they're talking about, it's 200 million, so it's a lot more. Eric Dyer, by the way, is number 19, which I got pointed out, 91 million euros.
Yeah, if you
thoughts on that from the two Spurs fans?
Confused.
Yeah, me too. The strength of the league plays a big part in it as well. So Harry Kane as well, this will blow your minds. Harry Kane is the most valuable player, not just in the Premier League, which is what we're talking about here, but in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So more than Mbappe, more than Neymar, who are number 2 and number 3. So they're saying the strength of the league is a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, doesn't it? Like, the French league, as good as PSG are and the amount of money they've spent, is weak.
But if you're talking about the best players in the world, neither of the top 2, Ronaldo and Messi that we normally talk about, play in the top league, supposedly, that is the Premier League.
Yeah, but La Liga is massively influential around the world. It's the second biggest league and it's huge in its own right.
I'll give you that. Position of the player, how important is that, do you think? That's huge.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when we look down that list, I know Eric Dyer is 19th there, but in the top 10, it's mainly attacking players. It's those that contribute to the goals. And I don't think it's worldwide. It's no mistake that it's Kane, it's Neymar, it's Mbappe. It's these players who contribute at that end of the pitch because obviously it's the most valuable currency in football.
Well, yeah, and then if you look at it and you think about it, you think De Bruyne perhaps is a shout for him to be much higher because you think his value to a team is arguably more impressive or more useful than Harry Kane. Like, I think a player half as good as Harry Kane up front could do more with De Bruyne's service than just having a weak midfield and Harry Kane up front, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
and I guess you've got to create chances as well. And so we're going to get onto this, of course. We're going to talk about, is Harry Kane actually, should he be the most expensive Premier League player in just a second. But the final few aspects of criteria, role or importance of a player to a club, squad depth, definitely affects the transfer value, which I think is quite interesting. Yeah. And maybe that's an element when it comes to Harry Kane. Yeah. Didn't mean to click my fingers there. Harry Kane, when you don't sign any players at Spurs.
Yep.
Brand value, and then the last one, which I think is really interesting, is the agent's cut. So an agent is likely to take 5
That's
to 10%
factor that in,
of a
yeah.
transfer fee, and so that's
it's
going
pertinent.
to add.
Because the clubs have to add a significant value. You know, you think if Kane goes to 200 million and an agent's getting 5 or 10%, that's another 20 million.
Yeah, quick maths.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm not smart enough to tell you.
Yeah. So this is huge amounts of money. Like, I know that's right, but I'm really excited. That's important, and obviously contract length as well. So Harry Kane's just signed.
That is very important.
Part of the reason why Harry Kane is at the top of that list, he's just signed a new deal on huge money, and to compensate Spurs, it would cost an absolute fortune, much more than 200 million, likely so.
Okay, let's do this then.
All right.
And I know, like, obviously, we've got 2 Spurs fans.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this list? Do you think that Harry Kane should be known as have the highest value of a player if they were to go somewhere else? Or do you
Kane, Salah, and then it's who's below him in the Premier League? Dele Alli.
Dele Alli.
I think so, yes. I think I would assume, as well as all those factors, which obviously there's some tangibles, some sort of almost intangibles in there that you can't measure exactly. I think Harry Kane, he's got the age, he's obviously got the
25
effectiveness, and he's got the consistency, which I think is what he's got above Salah. As amazing as he was last season, that was his first season in the Premier League. It's the first time he's performed
One season wonder,
to that level. I'm not necessarily saying he's a one season wonder, but I am. No, he's only done it for one season so far.
Yeah.
I think he's shown already that this isn't a one-trick pony.
No.
Or one season wonder for Mohamed Salah. He's going to do it again. But the consistency of Harry Kane has been proved. You know, that one season wonder tag was with him for a little while, but he's proved over the course of 3-4 seasons now that he can do it to that level. I think Salah has only so far done it for one season. I'm not doubting that he will do it, but I think based on this valuation now, you've got to say Harry Kane has been so consistent and so incredible. That's why he's at the top of that list.
I agree, and I'd add to that the fact that Harry Kane has just scored 6 goals and the Golden Boot winner, albeit very kind of
World Cup, yeah.
not the best 6 goals he ever scored, but he took the boot.
Back heels.
But the back heel was beautiful. He's the captain of his country. He's English, and the reason why he's English is important is because homegrown players are always going to cost more. Excellent English players are going to cost a premium because there's quotas to fill and ensure that you can name full squads for the Champions League. So Spurs at the moment have got this problem of only naming 22 players for our Champions League squad because we don't have enough homegrown players.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, Kane will be at the top. Now, before Liverpool fans lose their shit in the comments, actually do. Loads of comments right now.
Yeah.
Tell me how wrong I am. But this isn't about how much football they're playing or how well they're doing on the pitch.
It's not about who's necessarily better.
Well, that's it.
It's about that value.
Yeah, what Salah does have is a massive fan base, individual fan base, and that is very attractive for Liverpool wherever he goes.
Because I would say Salah is more valuable because I think he is by far and away a more exciting player than Harry Kane, and with that comes he's turning out face over that. He's more exciting, full stop. I think he's a lot more marketable than on a global stage than Harry Kane. I'm not sure Harry Kane has got the charisma
I would agree
maybe
with
that you need.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the charisma. He's just got a great smile, Salah. He's got a great smile.
Love
But yeah, I'd say he's probably more marketable. I think that's an advantage Salah's got over Kane, but I think it is that consistency which will be the main factor. And we just said about the importance to the club, the contract that Kane's got. He's integral to Spurs in a way that I don't think Salah is quite yet, but will be, I'm sure.
The thing is, I think off the pitch, Salah will probably end up making you more money.
Oh yeah,
because of that fervent fan base over Egypt. There's like 1 million people. I spoke to a guy. I didn't just pull that out of my back pocket.
1 billion people.
We made a documentary about Salah, and I spoke to a guy from Egypt, and he said it's insane how popular he is. Like he almost embodies Egypt and everything good about that country in a country that's come from very difficult through difficult times. So because of that, and because he's from the Middle East and North Africa as well, that it's such a valuable thing. And you saw Ronaldo when he left Real Madrid, their social media accounts dropped by 1 million, and Juve put on 4 million.
Yeah,
That means that there is 4 million people are now potentially buying Juve shirts, watching their,
if Salah went to Real Madrid as well, that I think you'd see a similar impact in terms of the amount of followers they put on, etc. More so than you might see with Kane. But it's almost further down the list you go. That's where it almost gets more interesting, because I think Kane and Salah are quite. They're on a level to an extent, although I agree with Kane being valued above, but it's like Dele Alli, above Kevin De Bruyne, etc. Those are when some of those intangibles come into play, where it's not necessarily on the pitch, where you'd put De Bruyne above Ali, probably.
Absolutely.
It's where those other factors come into it.
Absolutely. On a wider point, what I find fascinating about this whole thing is the criteria of it, and how it's not about football. Like, that's such a huge part of it. It's not about football. It's about the permutations of your squad depth. It's the permutations of the brand value of a player now. And we're now seeing, like you said, that point about Ronaldo, that the player's so huge and has such an audience in their own right. Our team's going to trip up a little bit and end up picking players and buying players based on their marketability over their
value on the team.
Yeah, the value on the pitch. And could that? What road is that going to lead us down?
No.
No.
I think when you look at that list, there are those factors in there you talk about, but they all stem from their on the pitch performances. A player is only marketable and is a player who can sell shirts and can sell products because they produce on the pitch. Even someone like Paul Pogba, I know, is sort of receiving criticism right now, and there seems to be a debate around, him, his off the pitch activities compared to on the pitch, but he's still an incredible player. He's just won the World Cup. That is what makes him a player who is so attractive to clubs and brands, etc. I think it is, use a big word, inextricably tied to their performances on the pitch in a way that I don't think you necessarily in these top 5 major European leagues get clubs buying a player for the sake of it. Even Juventus buying Ronaldo, a player who, even though he's incredible, I think we can all agree he's past his prime, they're not just doing it for the shirt sales and the social media impact, they're doing it because of what he can deliver on the pitch.
Yeah, I think that was their kind of card to try and win the Champions League. They think that he can deliver that. I think if you break it down, I think it does influence a club in deciding who to buy. You have a player who are on a comparable level. They're going to look at the marketability of that player and decide whether or not they should pay extra money for that player to get him.
Yeah, I slightly disagree with you. I think there's going to be mistakes made by clubs, because they're going to have a choice of 2 players, and someone like an Andy Robertson at Liverpool, they will go for Marcelo, who's 34 or whatever. I don't know what age he is, but they'll pick someone who's the older guy who's got more influence.
It's about what's the motive of the owners? Most of them are in it to make money because it's a business first, and so they would buy, if it worked out cheaper or more profitable in terms of shirt sales, Marcelo over Robertson. But perhaps that isn't the most sensible footballing decision. So I think there is a risk for that. But
I think you've seen it at Man United as well with Alderweireld. It didn't make sense for them to buy him because they didn't see the money that they could make after it. But they could have seen a world-class centre-back they could just chuck into that back 4, and they were going to go on to another level. Yeah. And they've missed out on that. And the reason they've missed out on that is due to the marketability. It's not down to the player, because they know he's good enough and he was available.
But it is on the pitch in the sense that there's other factors playing into it, in that it is the age. It's not, we can't sell shirts because of Alderweireld. It's not. It's the age, because, as you say, it's the resale value. It's not like an intangible based on an off the pitch metric. Is on the pitch. This guy's older.
Last thing I'll pick up on that then, and maybe this is the last one, because in 3rd place you've got Dele Alli.
Okay? What a player.
So, Harry Kane involved in 47 goals last season. Okay? Mo Salah involved in 58 goals last season.
Yeah.
And then Dele Alli, 26, is it? 27 goals that he's involved in. Why is he so high up there?
I honestly don't know.
Well, that's why it's not. It can't all be about on the pitch.
I think it is.
He got that deal with Boohoo.
You can't say. Yeah, that was a good deal.
Must be.
You can't say Dele Alli's not a great player though. He can't say he's not one of the best in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? It's not like.
But if you're saying it's about on the pitch, would he be in the top 5, let alone the top 3?
He's probably not in the top 5 players in the Premier League. But what I'm trying to say is it's not. That is still the most important factor, is what I'm trying to say. The on the pitch performance is the most important factor. These other factors come into it. Dele Alli's a much younger player than, say, Kevin De Bruyne. He's got that marketability.
He's on a long contract, on big money.
So that's why he's higher than, say, De Bruyne or Romelu Lukaku, etc. But I'm saying that is the most important factor, is the on-the-pitch quality.
Yeah.
But that's now becoming 60% of what matters, whereas before it
As
used to be
opposed to-
85, 90% of what
Look,
And N'Golo Kante's down here at 27th, and Eric Dyer's at 19. You're right, James.
Davinson Sanchez is in there, I think, as well. I mean, I like him, but
he's
still.
amazing.
He's
First players.
21 on a long contract.
Yeah.
He's trying to spin this.
All the Spurs players deserve to be there, James.
Look, ultimately we're having this discussion because business and football you can't separate them anymore.
You'd say
And
they're inextricably
inextricably linked. You can't separate them anymore. And the fact is that a player's brand is an important factor when a club sign them, because they've got to make money. These players earn a lot. There's huge turnover at most of the football clubs in the Premier League, and a player's brand is crucial. I'm not really proud that Harry Kane's at the top of that list, and I can't see anyone. I can't see anyone. I'd rather a trophy.
Yeah. This is a trophy.
Yeah, it's a trophy.
Yeah.
And I can't see anyone paying 171 million euros for Dele Alli. But if someone wants him, that's the kind of figure they're going to have to pay, because
So it works.
just the way it is now.
That's facts.
Okay, fascinating. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Should Harry Kane be known as the most valuable player? Yes, Flat?
Let us know as well. Actually, if you list in the comments who are your top 5 most valuable players, and who are the top 5 best players, and let them know and see if they correlate somehow.
Interesting. Okay, if you've watched to this point, then you must have got something out of it. Hit subscribe.
Yeah.
Go on, go do it. We'll see you soon on Ball Street, and we'll see you on Monday for Social Club.